should that alone be enough for them to face immediate sanctions?
100%. I think that this breakaway group of teams, this is, for me, a war on football. This is it's a disgrace. It's embarrassing. And it goes against everything that football's about. It's a cloak.
That's Rio Ferdinand's thoughts on it.
It's bloody absolutely disgraceful. I feel so passionately and so strongly about it because our owners, who are possibly one of the worst owners in the league, they're one of the front runners.
In the league.
They're one of the front runners of this, and they're vice presidents of this new project. And only recently have we become a Champions League team yet again.
What do you mean they're vice presidents?
So Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid owner, he's going to be the president for the project.
What of the Super League thing?
Yeah. So Glazers, Kroenke, and two others, they're going to be the VPs.
So it's basically already. Is it definitely happening, or is it just a proposed idea at the moment?
Oh well, he's proposed and they're in talks, but obviously there's no assurances because UEFA and FIFA are trying to put sanctions in place.
So, what's FA's like viewing it? Because obviously FIFA and UEFA, you said something earlier about not allowing the players that are in this like Super Cup to take part in like Champions Leagues and obviously fucking like World Cups and stuff.
Yeah, no, they.
Some breaking
One
news.
second. No, what the frick? Oh, someone just linked something on Twitter that it looks like a club statement, but a statement from like a month ago. So I just got.
Oh, fucking clickbaited.
Yeah. But, right, that's another thing. A lot of the younger fans, they're all like, yeah, I can't wait. I want to be playing Bayern Munich, PSG, Man City every week.
That for me, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of British fans who grew up on the beautiful game. English football is the best football in the world. It's physical, it's fast-paced, it's everything you want, it's entertaining. And what's better, honestly, than going to your local side, our local side, Leeds, Ellen Road? What's better than going there with your mates, with a pint and screaming at some overpaid wankers for 90 minutes? What's better than that? And it's going to take it away from your average Joe who's got a season ticket, who's working 45 hours a week, grafting, just so that he can afford to go and enjoy his weekend and watch it with his friends and watch the game that he loves, team that he loves. And how's he going to afford to go to Spain 4 times a year? How's he going to afford to go to Italy twice a year? How's he going to afford to go to Dubai? It's taking 150 years of history and just basically showing a middle finger to it. You know a bit more about it than me. Obviously, you've done a bit more research. I didn't even know this was kicking off until 7 o'clock tonight after I played football. But yeah, that's my opinions from what I've kind of read thus far.
It's like the most of the statements came out during the Man U game. So we just sat there watching. They started talking about it at half-time. And then they're like, what is this? What is this? So, like, you can imagine if, like, Ollie found out and he's on touchline.
What Ollie seemed to, because he did like that after the game interview, that straight away. And obviously he's not going to let on if he does know anything.
Well, he's probably legally bound not to say anything as well.
But if I'm being honest, it genuinely seemed a little bit like I ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. Like I don't know, lads.
Sir Alex came out and he's put, this is his actual statement. I'm not sure Manchester United are involved in this, as I'm not part of the decision-making process. So he's got that much faith in his club that he believed they wouldn't do this. And he's meant to be on this board of directors, so clearly it's happening at the upper echelons of this.
So it's above the board.
Well,
You'd have
yeah,
thought
say
everything
above
goes
the
through
board. Yeah, but the Glazers, the whole family, oversee everything in our case.
The Glazers, the worst thing that's ever happened to Man United, and this literally just shows that they have no interest in the history of the club. Like, for Man United, everything about Man United is about winning trophies and being the best. Like, Premier League titles, how many everyone is it? 20 Premier League titles?
Yeah.
Champion European Cups, we've won 3 of those. If you're just counting Champions League, then UEFA Cups won a couple of those. And we're just about to go in, like you said before, just about to go into the Champions League. And they've announced this crap.
We're not as consistent. I'd understand if it was like the one best team, and if they were so consistent that they were staying at the top of the league all the time, then maybe you can even consider like a permanent place. But the proposed agreement for 20 teams and 15 of them have a permanent place and they cannot be relegated, that's ridiculous.
It shows that there's no... It's just all about money. It shows they don't care about competition, they care about money. And if I were a player on that team, as a football player, like, even though I'm not that high level, like, I'm still play at a level that's competitive, you need that level of competitiveness. And if there's nothing to aim for other than a trophy, and like, there's no chance like getting relegated if like you're one of these 15 like teams, what's the point? It just seems like the league, it is just a money orientated scam to like say, look what we can do because we've got lots of money. And that's, I don't know, it's greed, and it's just selling out. If I'm being honest, it's selling out what football's about, and it's about that working class, like, I want to say foundation. It's built on the foundation of working class, and yeah, it's just showing that there's way too much money getting pumped in, and that these billionaire owners can do whatever the fucking hell they want. It's disgusting, really.
And it's such like a close knit group. So in England we've got the big 6, which are Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, and City.
Not even the big 6.
No. Yeah, and I put my quote here, which is, the big 6 are not the top 6, they're just the ones that sell the most merch, which is very true.
But ones that have been considered kind of the most consistent in that top 6 over the last in the last decade, 15 years or something.
But not even the most consistent though, just the most popular ones. Because I looked earlier, out of those 6 that are actually the top 6, there's Liverpool, Arsenal, Man U, Everton, Aston Villa, and then Tottenham. Those 6 teams have the most top 6 finishers. Where are Aston Villa and Everton even considered?
Like, right now, Arsenal are sitting in, is it 9th or 10th, somewhere there? Is that area?
Out of 6 of those teams, only 4 of them are in the top 6 positions right now.
It's fucking crazy. And it is literally just that it's that marketing ploy. They're getting all these big teams so they can say, oh, look at this is a Super League, as they're calling it. And it's just that marketing ploy. And what's crack in terms of the Premier League and like the Champions League? Are they just not going to be playing in those? Like, what does that mean for the British football tier system?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, what happens if you just take 6 teams out of that football pyramid that they've like been building on? Gary Neville said it earlier. They've been building on it for 150 years. This football pyramid. Obviously, you've got grassroots levels coming up into like semi-pro. So obviously, your IFSMIan leagues, your conferences and stuff. Like League 2, League 1. If you take 6 from that, it's going to ruin the whole dynamic.
Something crazy like there's actually like 20 tiers to it or something, and what makes it the beautiful game is that a team at the bottom of the league, they have a chance to, there's a clear route to go up to the first tier. Whether that's possible or not, in today's market, it probably isn't, unless you had a billionaire backing. That's just the way it is.
You've seen it in like FA Cup success stories when you've got
FA Cup glory.
Marine FC who played Tottenham, like a side in like the Southern Premier Conference, whatever it is, come and play Tottenham in quarter-final of FA Cup. Or, for example, you've got, is it Salford City that's got backing from an
From the
ex-Class 92?
Yeah, 92s.
And,
Yep,
and
they're in 4th tier now. Yep.
Yeah, and they're climbing leagues gradually, because it's got that backing. It's these and I don't know where I'm going with that, but in terms of like leagues and stuff, it's just going to put the whole leagues into disarray. And if you take out Man United, Liverpool, these big teams that kind of these small teams like look up to and admire, I don't know. I just think it's just wrong. It's destroying the club's histories. And like it's a big fuck you to the fans, if I'm being completely honest.
If somehow they did do it, it just makes that gap even bigger. So like all the main money in the Prem would go to a side and would go to these people, and everyone else in the Prem, like your Newcastles, your Evertons, whoever's left, they're gonna be left with chump change because nobody's gonna watch that anymore. There's gonna be so much disparity in how much each of these clubs earn now.
That's it. Like I say, you built fucking 150 years for these clubs and stuff, these leagues. And yeah, you put all these big teams into a big old league, and all your La Ligas, your Serie A's, your Premier Leagues, all them are just going to lose so much funding and so much because people are going to want to watch these teams. Like I'm a Man United fan, even if it happens, I'm still going to be watching Man United because I support them. But at the same time, I feel like I'd be a traitor to like the English Football League.
It does. It just feels fucking disgusting, doesn't it?
It feels wrong. It feels wrong. That's what it does. I feel dirty even speaking about it. So when they're actually trying to like get this into play, like people, surely even if like you kind of,
I think they were looking at. Yeah, it's so strange that it's come out like not even like after this season's finished. They're just testing the waters like 30 games in. They're like, let's see what feedback we can get, and then they'll probably in a year's time they'll rework it and then they'll try again because that's what they did last year.
Surely all these like backers or whoever's in charge of it are seeing all fans outrage, seeing all like the ex-pros outrage, and sure they know it's a bad idea. They must know it's a terrible idea.
It's not a bad idea. If they don't get any sanctions, it's a good idea. You know how many clicks on like Twitter and how much engagement all these things will get. The things trending on Twitter, which is funny, one of them's Glazers Out, another one's like JP Morgan. They're the American company that are trying to finance this, so they'll take massive profits from it.
So what is JP Morgan?
It's just an American-backed company that is going to heavily invest in this, and they're going to pay each of the clubs. The New York Times are reporting that every club will receive over $425 million simply for accepting the invitation, if it goes ahead.
So that's just accepting. You don't even need to go into the league.
Supposedly so.
You can accept something and not do it. Like you can accept to go to a party, but just don't turn up.
It's so strange looking on Twitter, and like I said, hashtag Glazers Out is trending, but like out of everyone, there seems to be more uproar from our fans. So I'm not sure if we're more proud about our heritage and stuff, and we've been a mainstay. I'm ashamed about Liverpool fans. They don't seem to really care. I've noticed a lot of tweets. I've seen a lot of younger Liverpool fans tweeting like, "Oh, I can't wait. I want this to happen." Blah blah blah. And there might be other fans of other teams doing it, but that's just what I'm seeing at the minute.
Well, in terms like Man United, you said something about the Glazers obviously like been at the top of this like new project idea, like vice president. Did you say?
Yeah. So the Glazers are going to be one of the VPs if it did go ahead.
So maybe that's why there's more uproar from Man United fans, because obviously they're seeing that their owners are kind of promoting and driving this idea forward.
True, but we've got people like Kroenke. It's been reported that he's going to be another vice president.
Which one's Kroenke again, sorry?
Is he Is he the Arsenal owner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've like in my football, because I'm obviously in a few like football chats on WhatsApp. None of them are talking about it at all, which I'm kind of shocked about. But I don't know. It just I still don't kind of like fully understand it. I don't get what they're trying to do, and like I get that they're trying to like create their own league, but for what purpose? Is it just a money making scheme? Is it?
Well, the way it sounds is, and I put, this is my summary of it, is it's an Americanization of the sport, which is you got the best of the best. It's like the Super Bowl. Like they just want to make it this franchise. They just want like the best thing.
And it's gonna ruin the game, you know. Like, just watched Rio Ferdinand. What did he say? It's a war on football.
I mean,
It is.
UEFA and FIFA, they're so corrupt. Presidents were getting fired left, right, and centre years ago for being so dodgy, but because another organisation, another group of people, owners who then want the money, that we've just got people trying to monopolise football. Grassroots football has gone. It's dead.
Oh yeah. It's shocking to see. Not only as a fan, but obviously like as a player, as like coming up through grassroots, like football, like leveling things. Like, what's gonna happen in terms of scouting for like these clubs? Like, 'cause obviously if they're traveling all over fucking Europe and stuff, like homegrown football's not. It's surely gonna take an effect on that somehow. It must do.
It's strange for like Manchester United, who've invested so much in their youth teams now, and their women's team, who are doing quite well. And it's just like, it's just casting them aside and just going, we've got this is going to make us money. Let's just...
Yeah, what is it? Just men's football, or is it women's football as well?
Well, there's not much revenue in women's football. That's just the bare bones of it. If they could advertise it at the men's prices, then they would, but unfortunately, it just doesn't attract that custom.
You see, like, I saw it reported, but you were on about certain countries aren't allowing their clubs to get involved in it. Obviously, you've got your Prem and your La Liga. Which ones are and which ones aren't? Which teams have definitely been like ticked that they're gonna kind of like show some form of interest in it?
So reportedly at the minute, we've got the big six in the Prem. In Italy, there's 3 teams. Juventus is one of them. I'm not sure on the others. I think AC Milan were, and another one.
AC, probably.
Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. And
maybe Napoli or something.
And La Liga, we've got Real Madrid, obviously, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. They're the 3 reported. But yeah, as for France and Germany, it's not. It is understood French Ligue 1 side Paris Saint-Germain are not part of the group. That was the last info we heard on that.
Is there any reason why?
Not entirely sure.
So you said something about Germans stakeholders or something, or the fans?
So the Bundesliga sides are opposed to the plans because the German model means commercial investors cannot have more than a 49% stake in clubs. So fans hold a majority of their own voting rights.
I love that. I
and
think
it
that's
is
awesome.
And that's very strange because Bayern Munich have got such a monopoly on their own league, but that's another issue.
I think it's a fantastic idea to have fans like the majority shareholder of a club, because that's where a club starts. It starts with the fans. You see it in like lower league tiers, like in your conferences and stuff. You get 2,000 fans, 3,000 fans to a game. They're buying tickets week in, week out. The sponsoring, turning up, like buying all merchandise, buying all that stuff, and that's what makes a team grow. And like you've seen it with what they're fucking called, Borussia Dortmund. Like, how passionate are their fans?
Yeah, the yellow wall.
Yeah,
It's amazing. But like,
and you can't replace that kind of atmosphere. You can't replace that kind of investment in a club. A fan's investment is so much more than a company's investment.
you see, it's crazy because when I think about passionate fans, I do think Manchester United fans. I think about Liverpool fans. But how are Manchester and Liverpool two of the front runners in this project?
Do you know why? Because as much as I don't like to admit it, Man United and Liverpool are Tories clubs. They didn't used to be.
No, they
They
are
didn't
now.
used to be Tories clubs. They used to be diehard fans there who'd fucking live, sweat, breathe Manchester United, Liverpool. Rivalries, fucking going nose to nose with your mate, not talking to your friend for 3 weeks because your team bet their team, sorry. And now you could literally go anywhere in the world, say Manchester United are playing. It's a sellout. You could go anywhere in the world. Liverpool are playing. It's going to be a sellout. So wherever you go in the world, there's going to be that revenue because Manchester United and Liverpool are such big teams. They're gonna sell out, and that's why, for them, in terms of money making, not in terms of like moral fibre and actual what's good for the club, but in terms of money making, it's not a bad idea. But in terms of football, it's ruining the legacy that they've kind of created for themselves.
I've got a couple of tweets from Boris Johnson. He came out about an hour ago.
Shut the fuck up. Boris Johnson's getting involved.
Yeah, instantly. Everyone's... Because to be fair, it is pretty fucking serious.
It's big, man. It's just imagine like the revenue that it brings into like the country football.
He said, plans for a European Super League would be very damaging for football, and we support football authorities in taking action. They would strike at the heart of the domestic game and will concern fans across the country. The clubs involved must answer to their fans and the wider footballing community before taking any further steps.
Is that him giving an order or him just giving like a statement?
Well, it sounds like an order.
Because surely he's got no like jurisdiction over the FA
But
or football teams.
maybe he can have an impact in sport that happens in England.
Perhaps. I don't know. I want to hear what they've got to say. And like we were hoping to hear something from the clubs from 9:30. They were supposed to be speaking at 9:30. We've not heard anything yet. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's horrible, and I think it's gonna ruin game. It's gonna ruin the game. There's no doubt about it.
I've got the Premier League statement. The Premier League condemns any proposal that attacks the principles of open competition and sporting merit, which are at the heart of the domestic and European football pyramid. Fans of any club in England and across the country can currently dream that their team may climb to the top and play against the best. We believe that the concept of a European Super League would destroy this dream. A European Super League will undermine the appeal of the whole game and have a deeply damaging impact on the immediate and future prospects of the Premier League and its member clubs, and all those in football who rely on our funding and solidarity to prosper.
That's a fucking fantastic statement.
But yeah, at the minute I can't find anything from any of the big six clubs that they've put
let's
out.
have a look. That were an absolute fantastic statement. That was, and it is.
But that's
it's
the
that
thing.
Strive.
These companies and these owners, they'll keep doing this. They'll keep testing the water, see if there's a project that'll land.
Have you? Someone's tweeted the new Premier League Big Six: Everton, West Ham, Leeds, Leicester, Newcastle, and Aston Villa. Fucking hell. Mad. Everton when the big league, big six, fuck off.
There's nothing that can stop me now. I'm gonna smash its head in.
Oh.
Oh, I might become an Everton fan. What do you say?
The best of the rest. Well, to be fair, the war is called the best of the rest. Either them or Leicester.
Well, Leicester are a big six side.
In my mind, they are. They were always part of the Big Six.
Well, in recent seasons, anyway, it lasts what? You say since about 2015, 2016?
That's the thing. They're an example of a modern club that have lived that glory recently.
Yeah, unlike Arsenal, who's not lived it since 2002.
Well, that's the thing. They hadn't qualified for the Champions League in like four seasons or something.
Well, Tottenham have overtook them in terms of like being a big six.
Yeah, like consistently up there, not winning anything, and like for like a lot of these clubs, we haven't won anything in a while, but we're still considered one of the top teams. We don't deserve it.
No. The only team that's been consistent for me over the last 5 years is Man City. And that's obviously because they've had, well, they had that initial money backing, didn't they, from oil companies and Middle Eastern billionaires. I'd love to know what their owners are thinking. Because who's said, like, obviously Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, City, these are ones that you said that have they confirmed it, or is it just rumours, or
it's like accepting their invitation into that competition.
So they've all got 425 million just by accepting it.
I think if it went ahead, then they'd receive the payment. But yeah, it's like they tried Project Big Picture last October, like during the COVID pandemic, and that was
it wasn't supposed to be a league, that though, were it? Or was it a league?
So
or like a knockout competition.
They were trying to change the league into more of a knockout thing. So like they'd have changed it from the top 20 into the top 18, and they'd have a knockdown effect on all the leagues. They were going to do like four relegation points, and then they eventually they would have turned that into like another European super comp.
What do you remember?
And
about
they were trying to give 9 of the top clubs power over all of the league. Stuff like they only needed 9 votes to say if a billionaire could come in and buy a club, which is like what happened with Newcastle.
Oh yeah, when they were going to take over.
A lot of
the like saying they're going to get Mbappe and stuff.
Yeah, but behind the scenes, all the other clubs owners banded together and said, "No, we don't want this. We can't allow this." So they're just trying to monopolize the league.
What I've enjoyed watching, like tonight, I like that word, monopolize. You said that a few times. I enjoy that. What I've liked watching tonight, it's all these ex-pros coming out and talking about, like, we watched Gary Neville earlier. If you've not seen Gary Neville speak about it, watch it. It's on Sky Sports Instagram. You can see it. But like, we watched it, and how passionate he gets. It looks like he's gonna cry.
Yeah, no, I saw tears in his eyes, and just hearing him speak so passionate. Yeah,
he was so honest about it. That's it. Like, and what I'm enjoying is seeing this honesty from these ex-pros, people involved in the game at like a high level. Like he was saying, it's been a part of his life for 40 years, and they're basically been a traitor to the fans, the club, and that's what happens when you get owners that don't give a shit and they just give a shit about the money. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the game. Like, like when you were a kid, what do you remember about football growing up?
Passion.
that.
and it's gone.
I,
I watched the second half of the Man U game today, and I was just seething. I was so angry about all the news. It's just a disgrace.
I just remember
The beautiful game is dead.
I remember growing up. This is my favourite part about growing up. My mum and dad had always let me stay up and late to watch Champions League. 'Cause it was always on about 8 o'clock, finish about 10. And I usually went to bed about 9 o'clock up till about 13. And they'd let me stay up and watch it. And I'd be sat next to my dad, like watching games, and totally engrossed on a Saturday, watching Match of the Day, waiting for Man United to come on, waiting for their turn to come on. Listen to Gary Lineker talk for an hour and a half about football and stuff. Alan Shearer coming on after he retired. And for me, going forward, I want to be able to do that with my children. But that was such a big part of my childhood. And now, like this, it's just I don't know it. I don't want to watch Super League highlights on a night. I want to watch Match at Day. It sounds stupid, but do you get me?
I get it because there's nothing to fight for in this league. Like we're there
Yeah,
for the sake of it. We even if we went in there, we'd be quite comfortably at the bottom.
Oh yeah,
We're not one of the best teams out of there. It'd be like watching us get spanked every week. How demoralizing would that be?
Mac, what is better than watching the final weekend of Match of the Day? Watching that relegation battle where it's skipping between games, watching that promote the title battle where it's skipping from one game to the other to see who's going to be titled. Remember that season when Aguero scored winner?
Yeah.
And on Match at Day, we're skipping from Man U game to Man City game to Man U game to Man City game. And even though I was heartbroken when City won it, the excitement and the exhilaration of watching, even though I'd already knew the score prior to that,
Yeah.
just watching it, like, oh my god, this is fantastic. And it's just going to take all that away. Yeah, shit.
All right.
That's all I can.
That's all we got to say, guys.
It's shit.